Welcome to another holiday episode of Soap Queen TV. I'm Anne-Marie from brambleberry.com and soapqueen.com. Today, I'm going to show you how to make the perfect holiday travel candle. It's a great stocking stuffer from Santa. For this project, we're going to be using the holiday candle fragrance from brambleberry.com called Cinnamon Stick. It's important to note that we're using candle fragrances. Not all fragrances are approved for use in candles, so make sure to check with your vendor to ensure that your fragrance can withstand burning. We're going to be using candle travel tins that come with lids for this project, though you can use any container when you're using container C3 wax blend. There are many different waxes you can choose when you're making your candles. Beeswax is a very hard wax when it's burning. It's somewhat difficult to use. You have to use a large wick. The plus, though, is it burns very cleanly away. Palm stearic acid wax. This is derived from palm oil. It burns cleanly, makes a very hard candle, and has a really unique mottled look. This is C3 container wax. It's an all-natural, soy-based vegetable wax. It has a lower melt point, making it ideal for using with container candles. There's a lot of different waxes you can use on the market. You can play around until you find the perfect one that you like. But for this project, I'm going to make it easy. We're just going to focus on one. When you choose your wick, it depends on what wax you use, and it depends on the diameter of the candle you're pouring. Just know when you're using a vegetable-based wax that you want to stick with a cotton core lined wick, not a zinc-based wick. I like to use a slightly larger wick than I need to when I'm making container candles because I like my wax pool to go all the way to the edges of the container. For this particular holiday candle tin project, we're going to be using 2 of Brambleberry's candle colorants. They are approved for use in candles. Make sure if you're using any colorant that you check that it's safe to burn. First, we're going to be using Brambleberry's Hunter Green liquid candle colorant. This is a very concentrated color designed just for candles. Next is Brambleberry's red candle dye block. This is also very concentrated, but the difference is that it's already suspended in wax. It's your personal preference whether you want to use a wax chip or if you want to use a liquid color. I'll show you how to use both. Before starting this project, put 2 metal spoons in the freezer. You'll see why later. Let's get started making our holiday travel tin project. Melt the wax in a double boiler. Again, we don't want to use microwaves to melt wax. Wow, that looks really full, but wait till we melt this down. Put this on a double boiler on medium heat. You don't want the wax to get above 200 degrees, so that's why I say put it on medium heat. If it gets too hot, it can turn yellow and burn. Another thing is never leave melting wax unattended. It can inadvertently cause kitchen fires. During the melting process, you'll want to stir often, making sure that not one single spot in the wax gets too hot. Wow, look at how the volume totally changed on this. Isn't it incredible? Weight versus volume really does make a difference. All right, it's clear, it's flowing smoothly, and it has good viscosity. Now it's time to remove the wax from the heat. If your double boiler is anything like mine, the handle gets really hot, so make sure to have a hot pad to protect your delicate, gentle hands. Wipe off any liquid that may have come up with your pot from the double boiler. Now I'm going to split this batch, but to save time, I'm going to scent the entire batch the same fragrance. Usage rates for candle fragrances vary. I like to use about 1 ounce per pound of candle wax. I know it looks like a lot. Boy, cinnamon stick would really blend nicely with a vanilla-based fragrance too. Stir this in. Please stir for a minimum of 1 minute. You want to make sure that all of the fragrance is mixed into the wax very well. If you don't, the fragrance may pool at the bottom of the wick, causing a minor flare-up when you light your candle. The fragrance is fully stirred in. It's time to separate this into 2 batches. I'm going to pour half of it into this heat-safe container and then put the rest of the wax back into the double boiler so it stays hot. My double boiler is turned off. This is because I don't actually need the wax to do anything but stay its current temperature. I'm going to be working with the liquid Hunter Green candle colorant. Here we go. Ooh, 1 drop. Wow, that looks really dark. But this is where the frozen spoon comes into play. Check this out. The wax hardens instantly, allowing me to see the color right away. I think it needs to be just a little bit darker to make it the perfect holiday travel candle. Another couple drops. I want to get a clean spoon just to make sure this color looks perfect. Wow, that color looks great. It's just the right color of evergreen. To center your wick and to make sure it adheres to the bottom, just put the bottom of the wick into the melted wax. Now, press it firmly down onto the bottom of your container. Using pencils or anything you can find that has a flat surface, center the wicks. Make sure that the wick is in the middle of the candle or else your burn pool will be uneven. Check the temperature. The ideal pouring temperature for the C3 container wax is between 125 and 135. I like pouring at this temperature because I find it gives me an even, smooth consistency. And it's perfect. 130 is ideal. Pour into the container smoothly and slowly, filling it just to the first ledge. You'll see why later. Whoops, I just knocked that wick over. Well, that's okay. Not to worry about. Check this out. Just pick that wick back up, squeeze the pencils back to set it in place. It'll be perfect. It'll stay centered. Move these to the side and we'll get to work on our red. Try to contain your enthusiasm for this project and don't move these candles for 30 minutes. By then, they'll have solidified enough that they won't shimmer and shake and cause an uneven surface if you move them. Just leave them there for 30 minutes.